Forgot my microphone. Okay, I got my microphone now. This is all good. This is all good. Then you push you over because you're too close. That mic's too close. That happens. The signal is coming in all hot. Yeah. Okay, now you're plugged in. I'm plugged in too. Merci. What would be a podcast without a microphone? It'd probably be like a video, or maybe just like a silent movie, you know? Same thing but different. But you don't want that dead air. Nobody wants that dead air. Are we good? I think we are. Amazing! I'm Piper, and welcome to While You Wait, the podcast that you listen to while you wait to charge your electric vehicle. Ooh, super mega easy. We already have Dave Frank dropping in and Rob8618. Hello. Now, I've started a little poll. Do you think that insurances are a scam? Yes. We are going to be talking more about car insurances, of course, because this channel is all about electric vehicles. Can you feel the energy? Ooh, it is started. Now, this is all my real personal experience, and that has happened very, recently. Yeah. Now, if you have seen some of the previous videos on the channel, you know that my Tesla Model X had to go for repairs. Yes, my Tesla Model X had a little bit of an issue. Okay, not a big issue. It's the battery fuse. Now, I had to replace the battery fuse 2 times already. It's still covered under the Tesla warranty or Tesla, I don't know what, but it always says 0 on my bill. So, I mean, I'm not paying it. So I don't know who's paying it, but it's not me because it says 0. Now, this battery fuse, it's 2 times. It's been 2 times in a year and a half that I've owned my Tesla because I started owning it in September 15th, 2022. And at the time of recording this podcast, we are April 22nd, 2024. Now, this is kind of included in the Tesla service. So what happened is, well, my actual car decided to tell me that I needed to service it. Now, that's what happens with a Tesla. Usually, it just pops up in your app and it says, service, you need service. Please, home phone, same thing. Now, it also tells you why it needs service, meaning it told me that the battery fuse was, I don't know, due for service, replacement, whatever that is. I am not a mechanic, nor a mechanical engineer. So I just do what the app tells me, pretty much. That easy. When I would go on my Tesla dashboard, it did say that it was the battery fuse. That's kind of all I got. Now, when I was in the app and I was scheduling the appointment, it did say, do you want to add anything else? Like, do you want to add any other maybe possible repairs you would have to do on your Tesla? And of course, I said yes, because it's always then that you think about all the stuff that's not working with your car that you have been postponing or putting out. But since I was supposed to go on a big road trip, I decided, well, you know what? I'm here in the Tesla app. I need to service my vehicle anyways. So I'm just going to input the other little things that are, well, fidgety or not working right now with my Tesla. This is all about insurance, people. This is all about insurance. But to claim an insurance claim, usually you need something to go wrong with your vehicle. That is why I'm telling you my story right now, because I'm Piper and this is the podcast while you wait to charge your EV or to get your insurance claim. I mean, they both work. It's fine. Meaning that, well, okay, I was in the Tesla app and I inputted all of the things that I felt might be due for repair. There was a weird noise coming from my ventilation system. You know, something that only older cars have, this kind of a bit like that, but more aigu, like more like that. So it sounded like that, meaning I was like, probably there's something wrong with either the AC or the heating. I wasn't sure because, I mean, it was spring in Vancouver, British Columbia, meaning you don't really need to put the heat really high or the AC really high. So you're kind of just using cabin, climatization to maintain the 22 degrees. If you're like, whoa, that's way too much, Piper, you don't know me. I need like a good 24, 25 to be in a t-shirt. That's the type of girl I am. So that is what happened. Thank you, Michael Looters, for dropping in. Yeah. And to everybody who's here right now. We are going to talk about don't get scammed by car insurances. And this is my personal story that just happened to me. Well, prior to recording this podcast and going live with it, so you will get all the juicy details. If something like that has ever happened to you, well, make sure that you stay tuned and leave a comment whenever you feel like that's the time for you to do it. And put in all of the things that went wrong with my Tesla. Now, there's a little compartment in the middle of the Tesla Model X, which most older models have seen it break. It has happened. So I put that in. I put in that I also had a 12 volt. You know the 12 volt little plug that is in your car usually? In the olden days, it used to be the place where you would light up your cigarettes and cigars. That plug. Now, there are two in the Tesla Model X. One at the back seat, like back seat, and one in the front, right between the two driver and passenger seat on front. Now, the one in the front, had, I guess, exploded or was not functioning. Because I did a bit of a weird pass with it. I would use my Tesla Model X to heat my garage. If you're wondering how that works, well, just go grab some popcorn. I explain it to you in a very short sentence. The thing is, I had a woodwork project and my garage was not heated. So I decided that the best way to heat my garage would be to actually use my Tesla Model X. Why? Because it's an electric vehicle. So there's no oil, there's no gas spillage, you don't have CO2 or things like that. You can literally have it run in your garage with the doors closed. Not that I recommend it 100%, but I mean, still no CO2 emissions out of this baby. So what I did is that every morning I would go to the Tesla supercharger, fill up the whole entire Tesla, meaning get it to 100%. Then I would come back home to my garage or my woodwork office that was not heated. This project was in the fall, so it was starting to get cold here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, I would close all the doors of my garage and I would open all of the doors of my Tesla Model X. Yeah, Falcon doors, everything. I would put the heat super high, so that all of that heat would go everywhere in my garage. Plus, I don't pay electricity on my Tesla Model X, so that meant that was free heating. What? This is so crazy. Yeah, free heating. And so I did that, but to make it more efficient, I had the great idea to plug a little fan. Like a little fan on that 12 volt. Yeah, a little heater fan. A little heater fan on that 12 volt thingy, right? The cigarette lighter thing. So I plugged it. It was the inverter? Yeah, it's true. It was plugged into the inverter. So the little heater, let's say heater fan, was plugged into the inverter into the Tesla Model X. Well, that lasted not even a second. So it didn't work anymore. It had fused up, explode, whatever, short-circuited. Use all the knowledge you want if you're like Electro Boom. Hey, what's up? I'm in Vancouver too. Maybe we should meet. No, the thing is, yeah, the outlet. Exactly, Carl, the outlet. So the outlet blew up. And I added that to the list of things that I would like to have repaired, because going on road trips for this amazing channel that I have right now meant that, I would need that outlet to plug in an inverter, my computer, iPad, cell phones, and all of those things, even camera and, microphone gear, so that I could film content on the road for this channel. I decided to have it fixed as well. So I added, the climatization, like I said, broke. The inverter was broken. The little side, middle thing, the little door in the middle was broken. So those are the three things that I added personally, myself. But I was doing this service because my Tesla Model X told me that I needed to change the battery fuse, which is already included. Now, I added all of that. Into the list and booked an appointment at my nearest Tesla service dealer. It's great. You do all of this in app, people. If you don't know this, it's amazing. Everything happens in app, and usually you don't even have to go to the service. They come to you. But because this was a more extensive issue because of the climatization system that might have an issue. I didn't know. I was just hearing that like that. So I did all of that. So those are the issue I had before the insurance claim. you need to keep in mind we're talking about insurance claim. So I'm telling you everything that went wrong that will lead me to the insurance claim so that you really get the backup story, this pre-game type of stuff. So thank you everybody for being here. I'm Piper. This podcast is called While You Wait to Charge Your Electric Vehicle. You stay entertained and also informed with this amazing podcast that brings all of the EV community together and the people that maybe don't even know if they want an EV yet. Make sure you share this video. There's a little arrow right underneath it. It is also available in the podcast version. If ever you just want to listen to it, that's fine too. Sharing is caring. Now, I went to the Tesla dealership, and when I got there, well, of course, I reiterated all of the issues that I had with my Tesla. They said no problem. They were going to look at it. They landed me a courtesy car, the Model S. And, well, I made a review with that model. You can see it on the channel. I went to a Pro Bash shop and I did a review of the Tesla Supercharger in Tawasin, that word. I'm not sure you pronounce it like that, but in Tawasin. It was a great experience. And, well, everything has been recorded, so you can just go check it out. The thing is, after that, a whole bunch of things happened in my life. And, of course, like most people, I postponed calling the insurance company. Because well, the thing is, I wasn't even sure if it was covered under my insurance. Now, this is when I realized that I have a whole bunch of insurances, and they all cover different things, and it's so complicated. So let me bring you back a little bit. When I purchased my Tesla Model X 2016, it was a pre-owned. Pre-owned. Here, I have the paper here. I purchased this from Fraser Valley Pre-Owned. I really wanted just a Tesla Model X for the Falcon door. I went there, purchased it. Of course, what happens when you purchase a vehicle of that amount of money, according to myself, approximately, I think, $71,000, $77,000, whatever, in that vicinity. Got the papers here. Well, I needed a loan because I did not have the cash. I did not have the cash or the liquidity to do that. Meaning I took a loan, and then, well, the guy there, the person that sells it to you, for me it was a guy, I mean it could be a girl or anybody. Well, they didn't go over selling you all of these other add-ons, like all of these insurances. And so that is what happened after hours and hours of waiting for the Tesla, because the Tesla wasn't even at the dealership. I thought it was because that's what the website said, but no, another guy was actually driving it to that dealership so that I could have it. So that's and the guy was late, and it was so I just waited there for about 2 to 3 hours just for the Tesla to come and answered, filled out all the forms and all those things. When it finally arrived, then we can really sign the papers, do the loan thing and do all the rest. And that's when came in the insurance. Because of course you don't want to roll your new vehicle, even though if it's a pre-owned, it's new for you. Off of the driveway without having the proper insurance. That is scary, You're like, well, what if something happened right down there, right around the corner? I'm gonna freak out. This is not gonna be cool. And I have to say that this was my very first vehicle that I purchased. I mean, no, but yes. So hear me out. Of course, like everybody, I purchased cars for $1,000. I did that a few times. You pay a car $1,000. You pay it cash. You go to the, in Quebec, it's the SAAQ. You go there, you switch the driver and all that, and then it's yours, and you paid $1,000 and you insure it, but you don't have that much money. You're a student or you're a young person that does not know or does not care. So that's what happened. So I've had those types of vehicles, but then I never had my real own vehicle with a loan and everything like that. I wasn't at that stage yet. So the Tesla Model X actually my very first vehicle. Even though it is pre-owned, it's the first time I get a loan for a vehicle, and I passed. That's also something that's very scary, When you go to buy a vehicle, and then they tell you okay, you're gonna need to do the credit check and all that stuff, and you're like, oh my God, am I gonna be approved? It was all good. I was approved. I got everything, but then the insurance. We are talking about don't get scammed by car insurance, because actually I've learned a lot of things in the past hours. Yeah. Prior to recording this live podcast, I've just learned a whole bunch of things on insurances. Because, as I said, I had some issues. My actual Tesla Model X, went to the garage, let's say, to get some repairs on the heating system. Because, or more like the AC, because the freon was leaking. So it seemed it was the freon that was leaking. So they needed to change, the freon, the condenser, something like that. I got all the details in there. And, I was like, you know what? If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure that I paid for a lot of insurance on that day when I purchased my Tesla Model X. I was like, I signed a whole bunch of papers with that guy at the dealership, saying to me that I would actually be insured like fully, or like bumper to bumper, as some people like to call it. So being insured fully can mean a few things. Or so I'm learning. If ever you want to input anything, make sure that you write something in the live comments. Oh yeah, we want to know what you think about insurances and if you ever had a little issue. So if my story rings a bell, or if you're just listening because you want to have insight for it not to happen to you, please take a seat and have fun. Now, the thing is, I have 3 insurances. You're like, what? How can a person have 3 insurances? Yeah, I know. I think some people can have more than 1 mortgage. I don't know how that works, but that is the situation I am in. So I recalled that when I was at the dealership, and this guy made me sign a whole bunch of paper for insurances, there was one insurance that was really more precise than all the other ones. There's the bumper to bumper. So there's that insurance where, if you crash yourself and it does not involve anybody else, then, you're covered. If somebody else crashes into you, you're covered. If you crash into somebody else, you're covered. Those are like some of the type of insurances. Then, if your vehicle gets stolen, you're insured. If your vehicle catches fire, you're insured. If your vehicle gets lost in a river, you're insured. But that's not the main insurance I was worried about, because this is all insurance that you would have on regular vehicles, much like a gas vehicle. Now, the insurance I really wanted for my Tesla Model X is the battery insurance. It's an insurance that would be more comprehensive for EVs or electric cars. Why? Because the thing when you buy a pre-owned electric car, in my case, my Tesla Model X, is that, the battery pack is going to die at one point. Just like any battery from your teddy bear or from your spy cam, it's going to die. You're going to need to replace the battery. And replacing a battery in Canadian dollars on a Tesla Model X can be from $15,000 to $35,000. Yeah, that's electrifying, right? That's a lot of money, people. That's a lot of money. So you need to put that into, the actual amount that you're gonna purchase your vehicle for. So purchasing my vehicle for about like $70,000 plus a possible $35,000, that makes it worth $105,000. That's a lot. So I decided that I would definitely purchase an insurance to make sure that I was covered for that battery if ever it were to die. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the 3 insurances. I'm not going to tell you everything right now. We need to go slow. Yeah, I need for you to understand how crazy this is and how I kind of got fooled into some of those insurances because I did not know, maybe because nobody told me before, or maybe because fortunately and unfortunately for me, I've never been in a crash or I've never had to make a claim. Even for something as small as, just a fender bender, whatever. That has never happened to me in all of my years of driving. So this is my very first claim that I wanted to do and tried to do, because in my head, it was covered under my insurance. I just realized after, of course, I went to Tesla and, I had this thing repaired and fixed. Exactly. This is in my list. So right now I have 3 insurances. Yes, you heard me right. 3 insurances. Now, there's the main one, which is with ICBC. Now, ICBC is the insurance that we use here in British Columbia, ICBC Autoplan. If you're from Quebec, it's going to be the SAAQ. So ICBC is they issue your driver's license and all that. It's ICBC Autoplan. Now, they're everywhere. There's dealerships, not dealerships, but they're called resellers and all that. So offices. Yeah, offices. So you're definitely going to be with ICBC. That's going to be your first insurance. I took the first insurance. Again, that's kind of like bumper to bumper. That's if something happens to your car. Theft, fire, you hit somebody hits you, you drive it in a lake, all of that. Normal stuff. I took full policy, like as much as I could. Here in British Columbia, you need to know that it is a bit more like in the United States of America. Again, to my knowledge, you can sue people. Which you kind of can't differently in Quebec. So the thing is, since I was scared that people could sue you, well, I actually took like both things. So if I see here on my insurance, I'm going to tell you, it says right here that I have third-party liability up to $2 million. That's the limit. Now, collision, I have a deductible of $500. And comprehensive, I have a deductible of $500. This cost me, for my Tesla Model X 2016, this cost me $2,881. That's my annual insurance for my Tesla Model X. So it's pretty. Some people, Trevor Turek is saying that's full coverage. Exactly, that's full coverage. I chose full coverage, mostly because, again, I don't know much about this. This is my first loan, first car that I really purchased, and I care about a little bit. It's not just worth $1,000 and I'm gonna sell it for $100 to the scrapyard later. Well, I purchased this because I have a loan on it. So if something happens, well, I want to make sure that I can regain my money or at least switch it for something new while I'm still paying the loan. You don't want to pay a loan without a vehicle. This would be oh my God, so awful. But there's always a chance that this could happen. You never know. It's just life, right? I'm Piper, and you're listening to While You Wait, the podcast that entertains and informs you about anything and everything related to EVs while you're actually charging your electric vehicle at a Tesla supercharger or any other superchargers out there. Even your home, doesn't matter. As long as you're charging, you can listen while you wait. This is the first insurance I got, so full coverage, as Trevor says. I'm fully covered. Now, since I was with that guy, and maybe I'm a woman, and it was my first car, so I kind of didn't know, he sold me something else, a second insurance. And this is where the second insurance comes in. What is this second insurance? So this second insurance cost me a total of, let me get the papers here. If you are only here in the audio format, well, I'm just getting my papers to give you the real numbers. So I purchased this insurance at the time of the purchase of the vehicle. You need to do that kind of altogether. So this insurance is actually purchased when I purchased my vehicle on September 15th, 2022. And it is valid until September 14th, 2025. Now, this insurance cost me $2,850. Now, payable in 3 amounts. So this is already paid for. Meaning that I paid on top of my annual basic insurance, full coverage, but full coverage, the one you have to drive, to actually drive on the roads in British Columbia. I paid another $2,800. And this insurance, well, is just an add-on to the other insurance. So it insures you a little bit more. Yes, a little bit more. I will give you more details, even more details, in a second. Now, after that, I realized that I had another insurance. What? Another one, Piper? Because in my mind, I knew that I had signed something that said that my battery was going to be covered. And when I saw those two insurances, I was like, well, nothing is mentioned about a battery in there. And I do recall that I signed something that mentioned the battery pack, because I would not have taken an insurance if it wasn't for the battery pack. So I went into my dossier. I have a dossier right in front of me. And I finally found it. So another insurance, this one from IA, that states that actually I do have an insurance. It's called a mechanical breakdown insurance, auto premium. So this one is really for everything and anything, but not everything, that is included in like the repairs of the mechanic. Windshield washer, like wipers don't work, your steering doesn't work, your battery stops working or needs replacements, like a mechanical thing. The guys told me on the phone that also it includes, if ever, the way electric vehicles are, the battery regenerates when you go downhill or when you brake. So if there's a problem with that system, that is also under your coverage. So now I have three, not one. I have 3 insurances for that one car, that one Tesla Model X. And you're like, wow, I really love that car. Because if not, I would have not taken like 3 insurances. I have to say I did recall taking 3 insurances, but I did not really understand the full gravity or grasp of it when I was signing the documents. That is why we are having this conversation, people. Now, they all cover different things, but do they? That is one of the toughest questions. Do they really only cover like the same thing? Same but different. Now Carl says extended warranty. Exactly, extended warranty. So one of them is to extend the warranty, which is quite interesting. Now other one is for the battery pack. Now the other one is really for just like driving it. So those are 3 different insurances. Some of you here in the comment section did say that, do you think insurances are a scam? Now, 69% of people said yes, you think that insurances are a scam, and 30% said no. So please explain in the live comment section, why do you think that insurances are a scam, or why do you think they are not a scam? Now, I'm going over my very own personal story that I had to deal with today on the phone with a lot of people. Today at the time of this recording, of course. This might change later. So, tell me in the live comment section and I will tell you all about what happened to me. I had the Tesla Model X repaired and I was like, wow, I have a bill for $1,800 right now on my computer, because who has that by paper now? I received an email. Yeah, always keep your receipt. So I have that by email. And I was thinking, you know what? I thought I actually signed and I actually have an insurance to reclaim this amount, this $1,800 and I think $13, something like that. It's all in there. So I went through all of my insurances this morning. I went through all of them. Hello, Javier. Thank you very much for dropping in. This is Piper, and you're listening to While You Wait, the podcast that entertains and gives you insightful information on electric vehicles and everything else while you wait for your EV to charge, just like mine. Don't get scammed by car insurance. This is my own personal story that happened to me today. I have 3 insurance policies right in front of me, right here, right now. They're all mine. To my name. They're all related to my Tesla Model X. Only one car, 3 policies. And now it's time to go over what happened. What went wrong? Why are these, insurances a scam? Possibly. And you'll tell me at the end of this podcast if you feel like yes or no. But let's recap. First things first. Since I had the $1,800 bill from Tesla that I did pay with my own money, yes. That I wanted it to have it, claimed so that I could get some of that money back. I started by calling ICBC because ICBC, like I said, is the basic coverage that everybody needs. So I opened the papers, called ICBC, talked to a lovely woman, and she told me that this was in fact not under the ICBC policy. All that ICBC policy could do was if I was into an accident or if there was any type of accident or theft, like something like that, then she would actually issue a claim. But for me to repair my AC, that was not an issuable claim. So there's no way it is covered under my ICBC insurance. Perfect. I was like, okay, it's not covered. Whatever. Now, I went on to call my second insurance because I got another one. Of course, while I was calling, I was realizing all of these things about the actual insurance that I had. Like, what did they really cover? Some of these things I wasn't even sure about. So I called Optium Inc. That is my second insurance. And, I talked to another lovely lady who explained to me that my AC was not actually covered under this insurance again. So I asked her, well, what is actually covered under my Optium insurance? Because my ICBC covers full coverage, like Carl said, and then like Trevor said, and then extended warranty might be covered on another one we'll talk about in a second. And here we go. I have the Optium in my hand. I call her, and she tells me that the Optium is just like an added coverage. What does that mean? Added coverage. So my Optium second insurance actually will cover the deductible for my first insurance. Yeah, that's what I kind of realized. So I'm paying so that they pay back on the other side. So I'm paying twice. That's pretty much what it is. Now, of course, she said that the Optium is a bit better. Of course, I'm paying $3,000 for it. I hope I get something in exchange. I mean, I hope it's not just like free money, whatever. So what happens with the Optium is that ICBC, that's my first insurance, ICBC will actually cover the price of my Model X when I total it. So if I total it today, they'll cover the price of the total right here, right now. The thing with Optium, or so I understood, is that Optium will give me the amount that I paid for when I purchased it. Yes, not at the time of full destruction or inhalation of the car, which makes it so well, that's interesting. So I'm paying to get that more money. And that's kind of why I took it, because I have a loan and because I didn't want to lose to the change if ever something happens. Of course, you're buying an insurance. So, of course, there's a big chance that you're not going to make any claims. And that's how they make business. That's how they make profit. An insurance company needs to make profit. So either they're not going to pay you or either, well, you will never reclaim anything. So they keep the money and that pays for the other insurance claims that are higher, like millions of dollars. Oh, yeah. So my second insurance, the Optium, did still not cover my repairs, the repairs for my AC or my, 12-volt outlet or all of these things. Still not cover none of that. So I had called ICBC first. I had called Optium second. And now all I was learning is that, I had two insurances that were okay. I mean, you have to be insured to drive. I get it. But that were costing me close to $5,000 a year. Okay, for this one, you need to do $285. $2,885 divided by 3 years, because good for 3 years. And the other one is every year. So meaning approximately, we're going to say approximately like $3,500 per year for this insurance. Yeah. And then I had another insurance. Yeah, there's another one. What? And another one. I'm Piper, and this is the podcast called While You Wait. We are talking about don't get scammed by car insurances, because when I purchased my pre-owned Tesla Model X, the person there, the guy, sold me a whole bunch of insurance. So I actually have 3 insurances for my Tesla Model X. I also have a loan, of course, need to put that out there. And I had to do some repairs recently on it because there was a weird noise that was coming out of the fan. I decided to actually go there and have it fixed. It cost me $1,800 and something dollars, and then I realized that I had purchased all of these insurances, and then one of them might certainly cover that fee that I just spent. Now, we are at insurance number 3. Insurance number 3, people. Insurance number 3. Finally called insurance number 3. And I called them in that order, just so you know. Just so you know. Now, insurance number 3 is the insurance that I was looking for. Why? Because this is the one that is supposed to cover anything and everything on my Tesla as far as electricity goes. Okay? Let's call it like that. Now, it says here that my plan/liability, classic vehicle value at repair visit, vehicle purchase price. Meaning that it's pretty good. Now, surcharges, hybrid/electric auto/high-tech deluxe. Included high-tech basic. Meaning that this mechanical breakdown insurance covers me, again, like Carl said, like an extended warranty. So even though my vehicle is pre-owned, I would kind of get the same coverage as if I had it just new, bought out of the dealership, and if anything goes wrong, you just kind of return it there and it's kind of covered. In that sense, let's just simplify it for like if we were 5 years old, all right? So I opened this paper, I start looking for the phone number, and I start looking at what is actually included in my insurances, because this is complicated, people. And the guy doesn't feel like educating you when you're signing the papers. I mean, he's just like, okay, let's go sign the papers, and then I'm making a commission, and that's great. So you get out of there with 3 insurances for one vehicle. I know this is crazy. How could I have actually had like 3 insurances for one vehicle? I don't know. Yes, you know what? I actually know. You know what sells more than sex? Fear. Fear sells more than sex. So insurances are very easy to sell to a first-time buyer of a vehicle that is worth $71,000 without the loan. I mean, I really like got up in that. Called too many charge. Too many charge. So way too many charge. Definitely. Thank you so much, Trevor. Hey, Carl. They took a cut of that insurance sale. Of course, everybody does, and we will be talking more about that afterwards. Because I need to like go to that subject of the scamming, and I mean the cut. Yeah, 2-star Google review. This is bad. This is really bad. That's why I'm making this podcast on while you wait for your electric vehicle to charge. You stay informed and entertained with the podcast that has the same name, While You Wait. Also, don't forget that we have a playlist with all of our podcasts that are there in the playlist that is also called While You Wait. Super easy to remember. I called the third company. Now, I didn't get a woman. I got a guy. His name is Roger. Roger. Thank you, Roger, for your services and your help. It was great. Now, Roger explained to me some of the things in there. Why did he explain? Because I asked. That's the thing. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I asked Roger. I seem to be confused. I'm sure that when I went to the dealership and signed for these 3 insurances, one of them did mention the actual battery. And Roger finally said, yes, this is the one. This actually does mention the battery. This is for your battery. This is for any electric vehicle. And I was like, okay, this is great, perfect. So I asked Roger about my battery pack. Roger. And Roger told me that my battery pack was included, but not at the amount I thought. When I signed this document, I was really sure that my insurance coverage, my insurer, so this insurance would cover the totality of the cost of a new battery for my TeslaModelX 2016. Of course, I thought it would do that because if not that I would not have taken this insurance, but the whole point of it was that a new battery on Tesla Model X can be between $15,000 Canadian and $35,000 Canadian. That's a big price difference, people. And still, that is how expensive it is to change a battery pack on the Tesla Model X 2016. So I was aware about the prices of changing the battery, and I was aware that by buying a pre-owned, I would maybe need to change the battery pack sooner than if I would have bought a newer one that was still under warranty. So by getting this kind of extended warranty, that would be covered. But that's when Roger gave me the information. He said, actually, you're only covered for $5,000. And I was like, what? I thought I was covered for the whole battery, between $15,000 and $35,000. Of course, I would prefer 35 because, big difference there. But it's still not covered. So let's go back to why I was calling the insurers, all of the 3 of them. I was calling them because I had an actual receipt for Tesla service and some, pieces, some repairs worth $1,800 approximately. And 13 or something like that. So I called them to see if it was under any of those insurance to get a claim. So to get this money back, because I'm paying insurance so that I can get money back. Of course, sometimes it's a deductible, we get it. But in general, you get that money back. And a whole world just appeared in front of my face. I mean, a whole crazy world. So I asked Roger, that's from the third insurancer, the one who told me about the battery, Roger. I asked him, okay, so my AC broke down. The people at Tesla, they changed it. They said they found a freon leak. They changed the thing, and well, that's the amount I got, and I want to have it back. That's why I have an insurance. So Roger told me, I hope you're listening. This is very important. Roger told me, since you already paid and you approved these on your own, they are not covered under your insurance. I had no idea. Nobody told me this. Nobody ever told me this. I mean, I didn't know. It's like I have all these insurances and I don't even know how they work. And I know people are going to say due diligence and all that stuff, but those are the things you don't learn in school. So what Roger told me is that I actually had to call that insurer, this one, not the other ones, because the other ones don't insure for that. So I actually had to call this insurer, tell them that I wanted to fix this problem, pre-approve the amount with them, and then they would have either sent me to their own like dealer, I guess, or something like that. And then it would have been okay. Then the insurance would have covered it. But since I did not call prior to doing all of these repairs, they're not going to cover it. Now, he still said, it's like the illusion of choice. So he still said that I could send an email to the company. So I have their email here. I wrote it down. It's right here. So he said I could actually send an email and it would go to management and then they could maybe approve it. Again, this is a lie. This is the illusion that it's all going to be okay when no. But good thing that this is happening to me with a repair that is underneath $2,000. I mean, underneath $2,000. This is good because if something would have happened to my battery and I would have fixed it and then the insurance would have not covered it, we're talking about $15,000 to maybe $35,000 there. So this is a completely totally different type of number. I mean, this is crazy. So I had no idea that you had to call the insurance before doing the repairs, or even before bringing your car to the garage. Like, you need to call your insurance first, or else they will not cover it. That is big news.
How many people don't call insurance and they save money on that?
Yeah, exactly. How many people actually don't call the insurances before they go to the garage, and well, then the insurance policy just has to not pay? Like, has this ever happened to you? Drop a comment right here, right now. I'm Piper. You're listening to While You Wait, the podcast that entertains you and informs you while you wait for your EV to charge at a supercharger, at home, or anywhere else. If you don't yet own an EV, don't worry. That's what this podcast is for. We talk about everything and anything related to EVs. We are actually discussing about don't get scammed by car insurances. Now, car insurances, of course, can be for gas vehicles and EVs, but this particular car insurance, in my case, is very much related to electric vehicles because the rest of my insurances are just for both sides, full coverage, extended warranty. But we're really talking about batteries right now and about what my hybrid electric auto high-tech deluxe include high-tech basic insurance really covers. And so if you are to get an actual EV electric vehicle of any kind, you should be fully aware of this because the battery pack will die at one point. It will die. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button for good energy. Okay, so Javier says, one true reason I don't have an electric car battery, dealers and warranties. Okay, well, that's good to know. So one of the reasons, again, insurances are insurances. Wherever it is for gasoline vehicles or electric vehicles, an insurer is an insurer. That's why I think that this is a good subject to talk about because the insurances are the same, I think. It's just that, well, the EV insurances include different things. So we need to say a little bit of all that. Trevor Turek says, insurances agency in most cases use authorized dealers or repair shops. Thank you for the info, Trevor. Max Power just dropped in. Hey. Carl says, there was no reason they should not have reimbursed you for that repair. Well, actually, there is a reason. It seemingly states in my contract that I just pushed a little thing in my podcast studio, that if you do not call beforehand, they don't have to reimburse you. It's that easy. So if you do not call to pre-approve these repairs or to pre-approve the estimate amount. And again, Tesla does give you estimate amounts and things like that. So this really, really like it's there, but I just didn't know you had to do it. I had no idea. And again, to go back to my initial story, when Tesla told me that I needed to repair my fuse, and they said, do you want to add any other services? I just thought, yeah, I'm going on a road trip. Why not put everything in there that might cause me an issue while I go on my road trip? So, of course, I did not think of calling my insurer. I didn't even know you could call you had to call your insurer beforehand. I thought I could just do it after. A bit like if you're in an accident, then you call your insurer. But there was no accident there. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna have an accident. So can you please? So I had like no idea that this was a thing. This is why we are talking about this. Did you know? If you knew, how did you know? Did you have a good daddy? Yeah. Make a poll. It's a great idea. Great idea. So we will make a poll to see. Did you know? You have to call your insurance before doing the repairs. Doing the repairs. Yes. No. There we go. The poll is on. Make sure you vote. If you are not looking at this or hearing this in its live format, do not worry. You can always leave a comment. Because we do answer and see all of these comments whenever, wherever the time continuum leads us. So don't get scammed by car insurances. Now, so what Roger told me when I called this insurance was that actually my $1,800 repair fees were not covered. Not that they weren't. They're covered. Right here. It says air conditioner, condenser, compressor clutch and pulley, air conditioner lines, pressure hose and fitting, evaporator, idle pulley. Like all these things, they are covered under my insurance. It says it here. Schedule of coverages. Replacement part may be new, remanufactures or parts of like kind and quality. So this is covered. But because I did not call beforehand, it's not covered anymore. Just like that, not covered. Now, poof, disappeared. Poof, disappeared. I mean, this is awful. This is awful. So I had no idea. I really did not have any idea. 4704. Perfect. Which leads us to talk about all these like misleading sales tactics. Yeah, the fact that actual salespeople from the car dealership, when you purchase your car, you're in this very vulnerable place. You are taking a loan for $100,000 to buy a new car, even though it's pre-used or not. You're putting all of this money there. You're signing away like your bank details, your credit score, all of these things. And, well, of course, they want to push all of these insurance because they get a cut. They get a cut out of these insurances, and they made a good day with me. They really did. I mean, I bought three different insurances for my Tesla Model X. 3 different ones. The basic one, okay, full coverage, but I mean the one that was necessary, that you cannot drive off the parking lot without it. So that one I purchased. On top of that, I took another one, that was a more extensive coverage that will repay the totality of the price of the car at time of purchase and not repay the totality of the price of the car at time of crash. So whenever that is. And that is if I crash it. Okay? And then I purchased the other one that was solely meant for me to be able to replace the battery in my Tesla Model X when my battery will die. Because it says it right here. Let me tell you how much it covers. Right here it says that my policy expires for the battery, for that battery. Thus why I took the third insurance on top of all the other ones. It expires on the September 15, 2026. That makes sense because I purchased it on September 15, 2022, so last 4 years. Or when my vehicle reaches the amount of kilometer of 161,492 kilometers, then the policy expires. I mean, it's not good anymore because you need to buy a new one. Yeah, which makes sense. Now I'm at approximately, I think, 93,000 kilometers. So I'm still pretty good, 90 multiplied by 2, that's like, so halfway there. Though I am starting like road trips and things that I will be putting here on the channel. So that I need to be conscious about. This is crazy. Meaning that I purchased this insurance to cover the battery, but actually it doesn't. It doesn't cover the full battery. It only covers $5,000 when the batteries could cost me $35,000. So I'm still gonna have to pay out of pocket $30,000 to put a new battery in my Tesla Model X. Imagine that. But still, you said it only covers $5,000 for the battery. It seems you have to be a law scholar to learn everything on an insurance policy. Get your brains zapped. Piper, ask for goodwill. That's worth a try. Funny. So the thing is, yes, it does only cover 5,000, but I did not know that. I actually didn't know. And some might say, well, yeah, you didn't know. You should have read it. Quite frankly, who reads that? Like, who really knows? Like, okay, so we have here. You've
been waiting there for 3 hours.
Exactly. So right now we have 11 voters and 64% knew that you had to call first. And I'm almost certain that you knew that because something happened to you and you had to call and they told you have to call first. I'm pretty sure most of the people that know this are people who had this experience, just like I did, of calling and being refused that claim because they told you had to call first. But if you've never been in a claim or needed to claim something off of your insurance, did you know? Who told you? Tell me in the live comment section. Let's do it. We have 36 people who says no and 64 people who say yes. So it's still not it's the majority, yeah, but 64%. I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of people. When everybody who drives has an insurance. Still too many people that don't know. Me included. Had no idea. Had no idea. So what happened to you? Did you get in a crash? Did something happen to your car? Meaning that you did it? And I feel so lucky right now that this is a small expense. This is less than $2,000 because it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been like the whole battery and then I didn't call and they wouldn't have not even reimbursed me the $5,000, which they should, according to this piece of paper, according to this policy. Imagine if that would have happened to the battery. Imagine. It would be awful.
It's not a scam. It's a legal scam.
Insurances are a legal scam. That's very right. Very right. Now, which leads me to this kind of piece of advice that I will follow through for myself, but that you should follow through actually for you too, or the people you know. Again, share this podcast with anybody you know, because insurances you will need for the rest of your life. If you do have a vehicle, you will need insurances. So this is a great insight into insurance policies. As much as we're skimming off the surface, I mean, this is, I think, one of the most important thing you need to understand is that you need to call beforehand. Before anybody touches your car, you need to call, even yourself. I mean, you call the insurance first. It's like calling 911. I mean, you call insurances first. I had no idea. Now, because you call the insurance, then you're good. But let's go to here we go. I got this thing here. Let's go to the real big issue here is that, well, again, most people do not know you need to call. And I was sold this, and the guy there did not even tell me call. If something happens, call. I purchased medical insurances before because I traveled a bit in my life. And every time I would purchase a medical insurance, the lady on the phone would always tell me, if something happens, you need to call before. So I knew that. I knew that about medical insurances. I knew that about personal well-being insurances. I knew that if something had happened to me, I had to call before consulting a doctor, something like that. I knew. But I had no idea it was the same thing for car insurances. Like zero, none. Which is crazy. Now, this is a bit misleading, and these salespeople that do sell you insurances when you are purchasing your new vehicle or pre-owned vehicle, but it's new for you, like I said, well, they will try to sell you these things because they do get a cut out of these sales. So be very mindful. And the other thing I'm definitely going to put a post-it for myself for is that I will record the whole thing. What, Piper? What do you mean? Yes. I will record the whole thing. If I would have recorded the guy while he was selling me all of these insurances, these 3 insurance packages, I was sold 3 insurance packages for 1 car. I mean, I said yes to all of them consensually. I mean, I signed the papers. But if I had recorded him and he knew he was being recorded, I'm sure that maybe he would have been a bit more explicit. And so that is just a little thing I have to put out there. If ever you are being sold insurances, just record the whole thing. Anyways, if you were to buy insurances from a phone call or from a chat on the internet, everything would be recorded by the company. So who says you can't record yourself? I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have gotten a better service, or I would have understood better. Second thing I should have done, and that's my own due diligence, I should have called. When the guy told me your battery pack is totally insurable, like totally insurable, he was right and wrong. And that's where he got me. That's why I'm telling you it's a scam. Half of it's a scam because he got me there. He told me that my battery for my TeslaModelX would be fully covered. And it is. Kinda, sorta. It's fully covered if I crash it. If really like the car is totaled. If the car is totaled, well, there's no more battery to cover. Then I go with Optium, my second insurance, and they cover the price of the vehicle. They give me the price of the vehicle when I purchased it. But this, my third insurance, doesn't do nothing if my car is totaled. This doesn't do nothing for the total demolition of my car. So if my battery dies just a little bit, or if my battery needs something else, I'm only covered for $5,000. So what he said was wrong. It will not replace my battery. It will not replace the cost of me replacing the battery. This is where it's totally false. I only have a $5,000 on battery. $5,000. This is nothing, people. This is nothing to change a battery. This is not a teddy bear battery. We're talking about an SUV's battery. We're talking about close to $35,000 battery repair. And this policy, the total premium of this policy is $8,400. Like, imagine this. That's the price of the batteries anyways, plus the $5,000. Now here we have Carl who says, the service representative should have looked into that in the first place. Yes, because the sole reason why I purchased this third mechanical breakdown insurance for my EV, for my Tesla Model X, was really so that it would cover anything related to the battery. Like anything related to the battery. That's only it, because the 2 first insurance don't cover the battery. And they don't cover your motor either if you have a gas vehicle. So this same. This, though, was supposed to, the third one, cover that, but it doesn't. Now, Max Power said, and if you put the amount for the insurance in your loan, you're actually paying interest on it, so you're paying more in the end. Exactly, I know, it's crazy. I actually paid for some of this, not in the loan. So I paid for it like upfront, so no interest charge on there. Thank you, though, Max, for saying it, which would make sense, like for some of the people there, which is going to lead us to the real financial implications of something like this. Yeah, the real financial implications of getting 3 insurances and, well, not even knowing half of it. Are you ready for this? I'm Piper, and you're listening to While You Wait. While you wait to charge your electric vehicles at a charging station or in your home, we aim to entertain you with informative and electrifying information on anything electric vehicle related. So if you were thinking that your actual insurance would cover the replacement of your battery for your EV, it might be false. So maybe it's time to dig into that filing cabinet and look for it, because I thought, and you would see and hear in my previous podcast, that I really thought I was insured for that battery pack. I really thought I was insured. I said it before, but I am insured only for $5,000, which is gonna cover not even the guy that repairs the battery. That's like, it's not even gonna cover the actual how do they call it? Work labor? like work labor. It's not even gonna cover the work labor, people. It can be $35,000. Yeah, DIY. We're going DIY. We're going off the grid, people. We're going off the grid.
We'll replace the rest.
Now, the thing is, buying insurance, like all of these insurance, so the first insurance costs me approximately, let's check at those numbers, $2,881 per year. That's to insure my Tesla Model X. So with, again, full coverage. In British Columbia, Vancouver, so $2,881. For 4 years, I purchased another insurance on top of that cost me, again, that you need to divide by 4 years, but $2,500, something like that. So we're close, we're over $5,000, okay? We're over $5,000. Yeah, $2,880. So $2,880. And that is only, the $2,080 is only there so that if I total my car, they actually give me the amount that I paid for when I purchased it. That's it. That's why I paid this other insurance. And on top of that, I paid another insurance to insure my battery pack on my EV, a special insurance only aimed to protect electric vehicles. Not related to gas vehicles. This is a special insurance for electric vehicles. Why? Because electric vehicles have been around for a little bit now. So some people have developed insurances for them. I mean, we're talking like almost like 15 years they've been around. Almost, give or take. Meaning that I purchased this third insurance thinking that this insurance would give me a free battery, pretty much. Like I would pay this, but then I would get a battery almost free, like cover the whole change of the battery, which I was totally wrong because it only covers $5,000, and a battery is worth between $15,000 and $35,000 here in Canada for the TeslaModelX. Again, all make and models are different. So was I scammed? Well, that's where we're gonna go. Was I scammed? Because so far I had to pay for all of these insurances that are extra. The minimum one, I don't count. Like my yearly one with ICBC, I don't count. This one, you need one. Whether you decide to be covered like on the front end, back end, that's how we say in French, full coverage, half coverage, you decide. That is on you. But then the implementations of the two other insurance coverage, well, those were really, really just there to kind of reassure me. I get it. It's an insurance. It's made to reassure you. But now that I need to reclaim something, because I didn't call before, I can't reclaim. So next time, of course, I'm going to call before and I'll be able to reclaim. But how much am I exactly going to be able to reclaim for the amount that I'm paying right now? I mean, I'm paying a lot of money. I paid over, I would say like $8,000 plus another, that's a deductible, surcharge, base fee, policy premium, base fee $7,500, surcharge $500, subtotal $800, $8,000, GST $400, total premium $8,400. To get $5,000 off of a battery that I'm going to need to pay anyways for, like that's where it's really weird. That's where the maths are kind of going crazy in my head. That's right, it doesn't make much sense. So this insurance, of course, is for future costs. Maintenance, reparation, if ever you get into an accident. I get that. I get the accident part. But I really thought that this would cover me for like the little maintenance, like the little repairs, the things that, yeah, take like $2,000 off of your pocket. Exactly. So whose fault is it? Is it the guy who sold me the insurance? Is it mine? Who do we blame? And how do we make sure that this does not happen again? This is very interesting conversation. Do insurances scam you? Or do they make the process so complicated and you're already tired because you're buying a car, you're there for hours, you're signing all the documents, you need to connect with the bank and all that, and you're doing all of that, plus they sell you these insurance on top of that, meaning that you are in a very vulnerable position.
You said it seems like a hassle for EVs, but I think it's the same thing for gas. They're going to sell you insurance for the motor and
exactly.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. So there are different insurances for gas vehicles than EVs.
But
Again, that's a top off. But it's the same scam. You could insure your motor. Quite frankly, you could. I mean, I don't know. I've never insured my motor. But maybe if you put like a sweet nitro something in there, well, maybe you're gonna call your insurance.
If you buy a Maserati, the guy's gonna say, like, you know how much it costs to replace a
Exactly.
Maserati?
Exactly.
You better pay $3,000 for it.
Yeah. So as Oz says, if you buy a Maserati, there's a good chance that somebody's gonna tell you there at the dealership that, oh, if ever you break your Maserati's motor, you're going to need to pay for a new one, and that's going to be very, very expensive. So you better take an insurance to cover the motor. It's a bit the same thing with the battery pack, because it's used. It's used, so there's a chance that it will fail at one point. Any used vehicles has more chance of failing. I mean, it's called degradation. It's called life. It's going to die at one point. What I call GST. So a GST, Carl says the GST is gouge and screw tax. GST is actually, well, the government tax here in Canada. Now, some provinces have HST, which is a combination of like the federal and the provincial. Other provinces here in Canada have GST, meaning that GST is the federal tax, but they have their own provincial tax underneath that. So it separates the two. GST is about 5%. For those provinces who have HST, well, it depends. I think Ontario has HST and it's about 10. Here in British Columbia, the PST, so the provincial sales tax, is at 7% at the time of this recording, and GST 5%, giving you a sweet 12% taxes on, well, different products, different things. Now, GST covers different products, and, well, of course, PST other ones. There are incentives when you buy an electric vehicle, but I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with freaking insurances. So, when you buy your insurances, when you are there at the dealership, I say you book one day to actually like do the credit and all that. You leave the car there, and then you go back home. You sleep. You come back. You record everything. And then you go for the insurances. Like, these policies are so complicated to understand, and the people that are selling them to you just want to make a cut out of them. So they're trying to scare you, of course, because that's what sale is all about. Fear sells even more. And then you buy all these policies because you think that the vehicle that you're going to bring back home will definitely, certainly explode. Not because it's EV, people. Just because that is what you think might happen, and then you think that you will lose all of that money. But quite frankly, so far, all these insurances have cost me a lot more than any repairs I've done on my Tesla Model X. And that is why we will talk about in future podcasts about the real cost of maintenance and repair of an electric vehicle, because except for replacing the battery, which I thought was included in this piece of paper that I hold in front of me in my third insurance, mechanical breakdown insurance, well, there's not that many costs. I mean, the AC would have broken on a gas car. A motor can break on a gas car too, and you need to switch the motor, and that costs a lot of money too. So all of these things are pretty similar from EV to gasoline. Now, my lesson has been learned. It has been learned. Bam, bam, bam.
Trust the salesman.
Never.
It's not recommended.
Never trust a car salesman. Now, the thing is, let's recap. Let's recap everything we talked about. And if you have any insight or adds-on, please leave it in the live chat right now or in a comment so that we can talk about it.
God says no, search for insurance. It's not the insurance company that is the same.
Exactly. It's not the insurance company's fault. It's the salesman. The salesman is your teacher. He's the messenger. He's the person who explains it to you in words that you can comprehend. Whether you're going to buy a cell phone or a car, it's the same thing. You want to understand the plan. And often they're like, yeah, I'll just read it to you. And they read it to you. They kind of give you the gist of it. But the thing is that gist very accurate? So the best teachers or the best informers are the ones that are able to really take all of that very lawful lingo from insurance papers and companies and explain it to you like you're 5 years old in simple words that you can grasp. The guy told me that my battery was covered. It is covered, but only to $5,000, not to the full amount. So why? That's a lie. That's not true. He said it's covered, but he didn't say it's fully covered or it's not fully covered. He omitted some things when he actually made me sign this paper, and I read it, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it at the time of reading it. And of course, that is my fault. I signed the paper. I guess like in court, it would not hold because they have way more lawyers than just me. It's an insurance company.
You recorded.
But if I had recorded the whole entire process, you know, with the salesman and, well, the insurance salesman, let's call it like that, well, I would have this proof that I thought that he made me sign for the replacement of the battery on my Tesla Model X. Or he would have been honest. If you record somebody, especially nowadays, there are more chances of them being honest or maybe just a little bit more explicit because they don't want you to hold that against them later. Because this guy definitely knew more about car insurance than I did. I'm going there to buy a car. I'm not a car salesman. I'm not an insurance broker. I mean, this guy who made me sign all this was not the actual salesman for the car. He was the insurance broker at the place of business as this car. And we are talking Fraser Valley Pre-Owned. So never buy a car from them because they weren't truthful. I mean, they weren't. I signed this and I should have never signed this. I should have never bought the third insurance. I shouldn't have. Because that's not what I understood was the third insurance. The second one, they sold it to me too. That I get it. I remember taking it because it covers the actual amount of money that I paid at the time of taking the loan for my car. So I could have the same amount, meaning $77,000. I think it's $77,000 instead of the amount that my Tesla Model X is worth right now, if ever it is totaled, which made a lot of sense. So I could get like same and still pay my loan and things like that. But at least I would get the same amount of money for another vehicle, a bit more like égalitaire in that sense. But this one, I only bought this one because I thought that my whole battery pack was going to get changed. So I thought I was exchanging like $3,000 for $35,000. That's why I bought it. That is only why I bought it, because I thought I was going to be a winner. Which I'm totally not. Trevor Turek says they're supposed to explain everything very thoroughly. Well, they're supposed to. They're humans, and sometimes it was getting late. I remember it was getting late, and they didn't. The guys over there didn't. Plus, it's sales and they get a cut. You remember at Best Buy? If you're old like me, you remember that at Best Buy, they would have a cut of the sales. So if they did more sales, they got a cut. Then yeah, you have the Geek Squad and all that. So that's the thing. There are some places where they get a cut of the sales. So it allows for people to be a bit more sharp, let's say, a bit more salesmanish, which I have nothing against a bit of competition and a bit of capitalism. But in the end, with that story, it makes it so that people are misinformed and they sign things that they don't really understand, and that later will bite you in the ass, a bit like it just did for me. I would be confronting that salesman. Yeah, thank you, Carl. Thank you. But again, there's a chance after a year and a half it's not working there. So Fraser Valley Pre-Owned. Now, that's the thing. Of course I can go confront him. Of course I can pay a lawyer to do all of that and get it sorted through. You know how much it's going to cost me? I mean, the error, I guess, is mine. Now that is mine. I should have had clear knowledge of this, and now I know better. That's why I'm doing this podcast. While you wait to charge your EV, you can get informed on anything related to electric vehicle insurances or anything entertaining and everything else. So make sure that while you wait to charge your EV, you tune into our podcast. Super easy. There's a playlist on YouTube by the same name.
And share everybody, because we might help people. Right?
Exactly. We might help people.
To the poll, there's still too many people.
According to the poll, there's still too many people that actually, don't know about it. We were talking about like over 30% of people have no idea that you need to call the insurance before reporting a claim. And in my case, do it for your grandma. Share this video right here, right now. The link to share is right underneath. There's this little arrow. You click it. Then you can send it via email. You can send it via text message. Or you can just click on Facebook, X, Reddit, or any other social media there. And in 2 clicks, it will directly be shared to your feed if you are logged in. So make sure that you do that. The problem with this is I was sold an insurance that did not cover the things I thought it was covering. This is the only problem. And if I cancel that right now, well, of course I can cancel it, but I still paid for these years. It's been a year and a half now. I purchased this vehicle in September 15, 2022. At the time of this podcast, it's April 22nd, 2024. So this has already been done. I've already paid for it. And then, like Carl said, not worth the effort. Well, you need to choose your battles. That I feel you need to choose your battles. It's not a battle that I would be undertaking, unfortunately. I wish I had the time and the means to do that, but I do not. I have other things to do. I'm just starting this new project on this channel. So I did send an insurance claim to my third insurer about the repairs for the AC, because it is covered under that insurance, but because I did not call prior to the repairs, there's a good chance that they're going to say no to the claim because, well, that's in their policy. But then again, the second thing that happened is that by calling, I asked all of the questions I wanted to ask and realized that my battery for my Tesla Model X is not even covered. Only $5,000 is it covered. Only $5,000. That is not the full amount of coverage I thought I signed off for. Now, that being said, it really sucks. You should really know your policies. You should call first. Next time I sign any of those documents, I would literally take the number on this, call, and be like, this is what I want. Do you offer this? No? Well, what's the closest thing you have from this? Because I already knew what I wanted.
Calling your insurance and just talking to them and say, motors, am I insurance? Without knowing. Mm-hmm. Just knowing before the accident.
Exactly. Just knowing what is available to you before. Exactly. What you think you're insured to is completely different than what's in the paper, because the guy or the woman that reads you the paper reads it so you sign. So they can, just like he did with me, they can, omit things, not be really clear about the fact that it's not the total amount of the battery, but only $5,000. And that's not even the deductible. That's not the deductible. That's the limit. The limit is $5,000. So that's a difference. There's a big difference. Maybe, just maybe, I thought it was the deductible. Okay, if it's over $5,000, then it's fully, they're gonna fully give me the total back. No. It's the actual limitation, so they can only give me $5,000 back. And no battery that I know of on an electric car is worth $5,000. Again, the insurance company is a company, is trying to make money, so I get it. But have I known? Would I have taken this insurance? No. I already have the two insurances that I need. That is the first insurance to cover full coverage if ever it gets stolen, if there's fire, if I crash it, if somebody else crashes into me, anything, if I crash into somebody else, that's done. On top of that, I took another insurance that is not a loan insurance, but it would give me back the total amount of money I paid for my car at the time of purchase, instead of giving me back only the amount at the time of the crash, so a few years later, possibly, maybe. So that I get. Trevor Turek says, isn't your car under warranty? Shouldn't Tesla cover the cost of replacing the battery for free? No, the car is not under warranty until, so there is a warranty for the battery, of course, and the warranty from the battery depends on the Tesla model and all of that, and that is why I took the extended warranty, that thing right here. But it is not covered. So again, I'm not sure of what I'm saying, but I think that this extended warranty that I took covers it until the 15th of September 2026, or until I reach 161,492 kilometers. So this acts as a Tesla warranty. This is kind of like an extension of the Tesla warranty. So that would be same but different. But it's not because Tesla, if I would buy a Tesla right now, drive it, the battery would die, and I would bring it back because I just bought it, still under all the warranties of Tesla. It would change it for me, of course. Tesla would change it. But I bought it pre-used. It was another owner that had it. Now, I still don't pay the electricity on it. It's still a 2016, and the battery pack was not touched. It has not been replaced or anything like that, so I do get free electricity, which is one of the reasons why I purchased it. So that is definitely a good incentive. But as for the rest, Yeah, I mean, read the thing. EVA batteries are considered consumables after the initial warranty period / mileage. So I guess that's what you mean, RA, is that it's covered until it isn't. Pretty easy, right? Piper, this is off subject, but yesterday I purchased an HD television and linked it to the laptop, and I'm watching you on big screen. Super cool, Carl. Yes, if you like this podcast where you can listen to it while you wait for your EV to charge, or any other appliances or computers, devices to charge, or you can even watch it because the video version of it is on YouTube in the playlist while you wait. It is available in both formats. Just because I like to be on video camera, I like to look at you while I'm talking to you, then you do whatever you want with it. Super easy. So that being said, my car is under warranty. No, it's not new. So I took an extended warranty and I took an insurance, which is kind of a warranty, but it's not under warranty. Now the fuse thing, so like I said, the fuses for the battery fuses are replaced by Tesla all the time so far, and I'm not paying for that. So I have no idea. Again, I am just like diving deep into the EV subject and into my Model X on this channel, and I will be diving into it a lot more. So every new information I have, I bring to you here. And if you do also have new information about anything related to electric vehicles, well, you need to do the same. You need to actually come here and share it with the community. Yeah, this is the most important thing you can do. You can share it in a comment, because then we read all of your comments and we make either short videos or long format videos or podcasts out of your comments. I just went and found a place where you cannot pay parking and park your EV in downtown Vancouver. It's kind of a loophole. So the thing is, it's really difficult to find a place to park and not pay if you are in a big city, like if you are in an urban area, because most parkings are underground. So Tesla superchargers tend to be in underground parkings in rural areas. Yeah. Oops. We're going to start. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So that being said, if you want to not pay for parking, you need to go more in a rural areas, not urban areas. So you would need to go a bit more in the outskirts, so greater Vancouver area, and then you would be able to not pay for parking and still charge your Tesla. Just like if you go in Surrey or in other places like that. But the thing is, so there are 2 Tesla superchargers here in British Columbia, Vancouver downtown. One under Pacific Center, so that's a big like mall thing, and that costs a lot of money to charge there because it's very expensive. A lot of people go there. So it's not the charging like the money of the kilowatt per hour that you're paying. It's more that you're paying the parking. You're literally paying the parking. So it's like if you have a gas vehicles, are you paying the parking when you go to fuel? No. But electric vehicles are paying the parking when they go to recharge, which I feel is a bit dumb. That could be a really good incentive for electric vehicles not to pay the parking while they charge.
The parking place they call Tesla. I want a supercharger because they want to sell more parking.
Exactly, because they want to sell more parking spaces.
That's why they put their big sign.
So it's reverse. It's a parking place that actually, asks Tesla to put their superchargers there so that people come and park there instead of somewhere else. It's not Tesla that pays for that and rents it and decides yes, but no. So that's the thing. It's a bit. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this, but whatever. That's how it is. So I found a spot where you could kind of get in out. Yeah, but I mean, that is at your own risk. Yeah, which has led me to think about a brand new little series that we're going to do on the side. So on the side, it's still going to all be on this channel because you've got the podcast while you wait, you have the short format videos, and you have the long format videos, which are more reviews of Tesla superchargers, insights. It's more for road trips and things like that. But are you ready for guerrilla charging? Yeah, we talked about doomsday a little bit and other things like that, and it is true that if you find an outlet, any type of power outlet, you could simply and literally just plug in your electric vehicle. if you have the right adapter, and if you have the right extension cord. So guerrilla charging is gonna be happening on the channel. Yes. I'm gonna try to find all of these spots in Vancouver and maybe anywhere else in Canada and the United States of America where you could plug and play.
Can we put it on Google Map and try?
We can put it on Google Map until they arrest us, you know.
Yeah, but charging.
Guerrilla charging?
Because I think you can contribute to the map.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, you can contribute to the map on Google?
Put it on the map.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. So it's a bit like a Waze, but for guerrilla charging. So of course, we all know what you're gonna say. Like, this is crazy, Piper. Well, some places already offer like plugs. You know, if you go to Starbucks, you can charge your phone. There's usually even chargeless charging, like wireless charging and things like that. So why not have these places where you can guerrilla charge? Meaning you can bring your own actual adapter or your own, cord and charge it. So we're gonna try to find all these precious little spots that you could use in case of doomsday. Or something crazy like that. I mean, you never know. Or whatever. But I'll be figuring these out going in the city. So if you know places where you can charge,
We just want like 110 plug.
Exactly, 110 plug.
The 110 plug.
Yeah, it's not Tesla superchargers. We're not talking about that. Hopefully nobody would unplug it. Well, you stay there because it's guerrilla. You don't go anywhere. I mean, this is like, it's guerrilla.
Starbucks in and out.
Yeah, you need to okay, maybe you go grab a coffee, but you need to stay there. I mean, when are you not gonna stay there? What you're doing is already so guerrilla that you cannot leave your car, or else there's a chance she's not gonna be there anymore when you come back. I mean, there's big chances. So we're gonna try to figure all of those places out. It's gonna be awesome, really awesome. Now, tell me more about insurances. Is Guerrilla Unplugged? Tell me about your insurance experiences. Have you ever had a bad experience with an insurer? Now's the time to say it in the live comment section. What has happened to you? Because so far, I bought the wrong insurance. I totally was duped into buying an insurance that did not cover what I solely bought it for. It covers other things, which is great. But again, that was not my main concern. Then you need to call first. Yes, that was not my main concern. My main concern was not that one. Plus, I had no idea that with any type of insurance, even vehicle insurances, you have to call before somebody touches your car. You have to. Now you know. Now you know that you have to call. If you don't know this, or if you think that some people might not know this, make sure that you share this video to spread the word so that nobody else gets depleted of $2,000 just like me, because I have an actual bill for $1,800 and the insurance is saying that it's not going to cover it because I did not call beforehand. Now, they didn't say it yet, but the guy Roger did say that. Carl says, I bought an extended warranty once and never used it. Yeah, that is definitely what can happen with your insurance. That's why they tell you is to reassure you. Make sure you sleep at night, because most of the time you won't use it. Extended warranty, I guess that's a bit... That's exactly what I bought. And, well, right now I would have used it. I mean, I'm using it, but I had no idea I had to call first. So in that sense, I might be losing the money that I paid for this extended warranty and, the $1,800 that I paid for the reparations, which could have been under my policy, my insurance policy. I could have claimed for those. So you need to know all of that before getting into this. And this is not school does not teach you this. Unless you have maybe a great teacher or one of your parents is actually a good parent. Well, you would have learned this, but I had no idea. And I had never been in an accident or nothing. It never happened so that I had to do a claim. This was the very first time. And I just did it because I thought, well, wait, I bought these 3 insurances. One of them is definitely going to cover this. I mean, why else would I have 3 and would I be paying such a premium for 3 insurances if this is not included? That makes no sense. So that's when I called the 3 insurances one after the other. in order of coverage. So the first one that is like the full coverage, but the one that you really need. Then the one on top of that, that was more to ensure the deductions of the first one. And well, to give me back the full amount that I paid at time of purchase instead of giving me back the amount that the car was worth if I totaled it any time after. That's second insurance. And then third insurance, like Carl says, a bit more of an extended warranty for all types of repairs. Like, yes, the AC is under that. So it would have been covered if I had only called before, if I had knew to call before. And the battery pack, not fully covered, only to a limit of $5,000. So if you do purchase an used EV, make sure that you understand and get the right insurance for you to even maybe you will have a higher coverage on the battery. Some people say it can last up to 500,000 kilometers, but it only covers mine till 161,492 kilometers. So it won't be covered after that, and that's approximately $15,000 to $35,000. If you still think that insurances are a scam, please do leave a comment and share this video with everybody so we can share information and real life stories about people dealing with insurances, car insurances, so that less people can be fooled and more people can actually make the right choices for them, the right decisions, and also will claim more. Yes, claim more. I think it's a good thing to claim more. I'm Piper, and this is the podcast While You Wait. Make sure that you subscribe and that you go listen to the whole entirety of the episodes on our YouTube channel. It's called While You Wait, the playlist. Super easy. Go in the playlist label on the channel, click it, and then you'll see While You Wait. You'll be able to listen to it, but also look at it visually if ever, well, you are in your Tesla and you have a big TV on there. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel while you're on the TV. Keep me in your bookmarks and browser history. It's so easy to not lose me. Yeah, just actually add me to your bookmarks, add me to your Tesla browser. That way, every time you are charging and you are waiting, you'll have a new episode to look at, or just, well, go in the comment section, see what people are saying, and add your very own personal input. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a recharging time. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see what happened with the insurance. There's a good chance I'm not getting that money back. I mean, when Roger said, like, you know, send an email, the managers will take care of it. I've heard that before. Your check is in the mail. Yeah, same thing but different.